Thank you for watching this hour as we continue to watch the situation in Southern California and the wildfire there. I'm Harris. Here's Dana.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dana Perino. We are watching several breaking new developments this hour. A busy day on Capitol Hill. House lawmakers getting a briefing behind closed doors right now on the raid that killed the Islamic State leader. In the room, the Joint Chiefs Chairman and the Defense Secretary, among others. Meanwhile, House lawmakers are gearing up on impeachment. A crucial committee meeting is happening this afternoon, and we will talk to Ken Starr about that. And the Fed announcing whether it's cutting interest rates, what that means for your wallet in just a few moments. But first, the wildfires raging at both ends of California. Right now, firefighters in Simi Valley are battling a fast-moving brush fire. It erupted earlier today and is now threatening the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. Officials there are saying the building is surrounded by flames and everyone inside is sheltering in place. Our Christina Coleman is live on the ground there in Simi Valley. Christina, this came up so quickly. What can you tell us?
Well, Dana, yeah, I'm here in front of the Reagan Library where you can see this wind is blowing very strong. And it's this wind that firefighters are so concerned about because it's fueling these embers and spreading those flames. You can see some of the smoldering, the smoke from the smoldering ashes that are out there right now. So much of this hillside is just burned. This fire moved so quickly. I can hear helicopters flying by. They've been doing the water draw since this fire started. They want to get this under control. They do not want it to damage this library. Now, this library has been surrounded by these firefighters and these trucks. They've been hosing down the area, just trying to stop it from flaring up again. This fire is being called the Easy Fire. It's burned 972 acres since it started about 4 hours ago on the hillsides of Simi Valley. Now, the library has been spared, but there's still concern for lots of people in this area. There was an evacuation that was underway. The Ventura County School District here has been closed. The roads have been blocked off. There's 5 doors across the museum to protect the displays and artifacts inside. Here's the executive director of the Reagan Foundation.
It literally is encircling the library. There's residential communities on both sides, and it's formed a half circle around the entire Reagan Library structure. It's the closest this library's ever come to this kind of a danger, so this is really serious stuff.
Utility company SoCal Edison warned it could shut off power to more than 300,000 customers between today and tomorrow in Southern California to prevent these future fires. And so far, as of now, about 14,000 SoCal Edison customers are without power right now. But I can tell you it is quite the firefight. If you look just over there, you can see one of these helicopters doing a water drop right now. We saw some dark, heavy smoke there just moments before this live shot. So really a strong firefight. There's a number of firefighters lining the road down that way, trying to stop that fire. Oh, here comes a second helicopter right there. So they've been circling these hills trying to get a handle on this, because as you know, within the first 12 hours of these wildfires, you got to get under control because it can just spread that fast. And again, it spread hundreds of acres just within hours of it starting here. So again, with these very windy conditions and the winds picking up around the Los Angeles area, firefighters have quite a fight on their hands. Very concerned about these dry conditions. Dana?
Well, you can tell from the wind, listening to you, that this hurricane force winds, and this happens so quickly. How do they know where it's going to go next? I think, and could you just repeat? Did you say that the library has been spared?
Oh, the library is fine. There is nothing has been damaged in that library. You can see there's officers around it. It has been protected. The library is okay. But as for some of the other buildings around here, just looking over the hills, I can see some very expensive homes. You can see just the earth around it just scorched. So there is still property out here. I've been told a lot of people, they own horses out here. Those horses, they're trying to move those animals, get them out of this area because, again, you have a lot of smoldering embers out here. You have those hot spots, and these firefighters want to make sure that this fire does not spread any further.
Christina Coleman, thank you for the report. Take care of yourself and all of our crew out there as well. Thank you. We have the Simi Valley Police Chief on the phone with us, David Livingstone. He joins us. Sir, this happened this morning. I'm sure that it was something that you were anticipating could happen given the windy conditions there?
Yes, that's true. We had anticipated the winds, and so we had put extra officers on duty. And the fire started about 6 this morning. It took off extremely fast, and we had to evacuate a number of homes in between the point that the fire started and the Reagan Library. And now what our officers are doing is they're assisting the firefighters there, controlling traffic and helping with evacuations around the residential area of the library there.
When you have to do an evacuation at 6 a.m., obviously getting people up and out of their homes, how do you make sure that you get that done in a timely fashion without any other risks?
Well, we just get our officers into the area, and they just systematically go through the neighborhood. In this case, because the fire was so rapid and came on so fast, we had a number of 911 calls, and we were able to track through the 911 calls where the areas were so we could get officers there as quick as possible.
When was the last time that this area burned? Obviously, we know this is a natural thing that happens in California quite a bit. It's a pretty dry area, especially this time of year and with the Santa Ana winds. But was there a lot of fuel, so to speak, a lot of brush there to burn?
The last time the area near this burn, near the reservoir there, south of the Reagan Library, was last year, and we had a similar situation. So there's been a number of fires through that area. Probably the last significant one was 2003 that actually started in the same region. So, the brush is always a concern. Obviously, the dry conditions and the wind and the low humidity, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Were there any other special protections or precautions that you took in order to protect the Ronald Reagan Library?
We sent officers up there right away to assess before the fire got to that region. But the great thing about the Reagan Library is they do a very good job of cutting back brush, and so there are good zones around it where the brush isn't so high. And I think the main thing, just getting up there and alerting their staff, because they have several people up there to make sure that they were aware of what was going on.
And tell me a little bit about how you coordinate with the firefighters, because there's lots of different agencies here all coming together, I'm assuming local, state, and federal. How do you all communicate and make sure that everyone's doing what they need to do?
We have a very good mutual aid system here in Ventura County, and so we put up an incident command post, and it's a joint operations center. So we bring in people from the fire department, the police department. We all have emergency services coordinators that can help us move resources in. So we're in constant communication with them, and they can give us updates on where the danger areas are or where they need us to control traffic. And so we approach this as almost like a joint military operation. We move assets around and so that we can take advantage of the best circumstances in each case.
What's to come in the hours ahead?
Well, right now the fire is moving in a southwesterly direction, and from what I've been told, we're putting a heavy amount of air resources on it. One of the interesting things, and I think actually a plus, is that there's a reservoir located right near the neighborhood there where the Reagan Library is. So the helicopters that are attacking this fire right now are able to get water rapidly so they can get back onto the fire, and I think that is making a big difference. But right now there's no containment on it, so they're just concerned about it moving into the next city, joining us, our partner city, Thousand Oaks. So we're watching that very closely. Is there anything
that you would recommend that homeowners or businesses do? As you said, the Reagan Library has been good about figuring out a way to protect the property by cutting back brush. Is that something that others should be thinking about?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's important. Also, just for our residents, be prepared for these things. We know it's something that happens every year, and so be prepared with vital documents and things like that to be able to leave at a moment's notice. I think that's very important for protecting life and property.
And when do you expect people to be able to come back to their homes there?
Well, as soon as the fire department can assess the risks, and the wind is going one direction, obviously that could change. So we don't want to let people back into any areas that could be vulnerable once again. So until the fire department lets us know that everything is safe and the fire is out of that region, then we'll be able to get people back into their homes.
Well, we should let you get back to your very important job. Simi Valley Police Chief David Livingstone, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And more updates on the fire in Simi Valley, California throughout the hour. Plus, a crucial day on Capitol Hill. And for the impeachment process, a big meeting is happening in the next hour. Ken Starr is here to walk us through all the developments. He's next.